Hey guys, so I want you to take a minute and watch this video that I'm going to insert right here. Then I'm going to kind of break it down for you afterwards. So check this out real quick.
Anna, for leading this charge for justice and transparency in our body and in our government and in our nation. Recently, the Department of Justice under Attorney General Merrick Garland has displayed a blatant disregard for this body. By refusing to comply with two lawful subpoenas, Attorney General Garland has violated our authority and undermined the integrity of this institution. Earlier this month, we voted to hold Attorney General Garland in criminal contempt of Congress. However, the Department of Justice informed Speaker Mike Johnson that they would not prosecute the AG for this contempt. This response, while expected, sets a dangerous precedent. If the executive branch can simply ignore Congress without any consequences, it threatens the very function and foundation of our democratic process. When an individual refuses to comply with Congress's request, we are left with three options: criminal, civil, or inherent contempt. Now, both criminal and civil contempt rely on the executive branch for enforcement, which clearly is not going to happen in this case. The Founding Fathers designed our government to protect our freedoms, to stand against tyranny, and to combat an all-powerful executive branch. Inherent contempt is our constitutional authority to hold individuals accountable directly. This power allows Congress to detain and try individuals who defy our subpoenas. It is a crucial tool that ensures we can fulfill our legislative responsibilities independently. In the House Rules and Manual, the 118th Congress, Jefferson's Manual, you can find inherent contempt mentioned in pages 141 through 147. Inherent contempt has been used by the U.S. House of Representatives more than 100 times since 1795 and upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States of America. If we allow the Department of Justice and Attorney General Garland to dictate whether or not a congressional subpoena is enforced, we risk becoming subordinate to the executive branch, and that cannot happen. This is unacceptable. Congress must never rely on the actions of the other branches to carry out our constitutional responsibilities under Article 1.
All right, so the gist of what they're saying is Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, is refusing to hand over audio recordings of a testimony from Joe Biden. It was during the special counsel's investigation. They had an audio recorded testimony from Joe Biden, and the special counsel testified in front of Congress and Senate that even though they had found a lot of evidence that Joe Biden had broken the law and that he had violated people's civil rights, that there was no reason to prosecute him because he wasn't mentally fit to go to trial. So, of course, the next question was, if he's not mentally fit to go to trial, how is he mentally fit to be president? And I just had a Joe Biden moment there. But, that's a good question. If the man's not fit to go to trial, how's he fit to run this country? And this isn't a left or right thing. If any of you watch any of my videos or you know me, I don't really support either side. Left and right wings, still the same bird. You know what I mean? They're all in it together. But this is a very, very important thing that a lot of us are ignoring, and I don't blame you guys for ignoring it. I don't blame you guys for doubting it or anything. I mean, these talking heads constantly lie to us. Like, nobody wants to listen to Congress or Senate run their mouths anymore because it's all a bunch of bullshit most of the time. It's propaganda. It's just divisive, nonsense. This is not divisive nonsense, okay? This isn't, Bill Clinton was with Monica Lewinsky. Well, I know it happened, but it was stupid. And this isn't the fake-ass Russian collusion documents, dossier for Trump. So we really should pay attention to this, because the Attorney General, who is the head of the Department of Justice, is openly violating the law, openly breaking constitutional law, and saying that he's not going to turn these recordings over. And if you're wondering why they want the recording if they've got the transcript, they cited evidence, like they have multiple accounts of the Biden administration giving them a transcript and then them later getting the audio, and the transcript and the audio don't match. Somebody inside the Biden administration has been manipulating the transcripts so that it doesn't make Biden seem like he has dementia or whatever, or takes out things they don't want him to say. They cited it they cited several occasions of it in the hearings when they were and had the Attorney General in front of them, Merrick Garland's in front of them. But so that's why they want to hear the audio, because they want to know exactly what was said and how it was said, not just what the transcript says. So they subpoenaed that, and then they referred Merrick Garland to the Department of Justice because he is breaking the law. And even though he's the top attorney in the United States over the Department of Justice, he's not above the law, right? Everybody's going to get prosecuted. Everybody should get prosecuted the same way you or I would. And they've got a different set of standards up there, if you want to call it standards, I guess. But the Department of Justice is being used as a tool of the executive branch, and that's complete violation of our separation of states. So we're supposed to have three clearly equal but divided branches of government. And I know a lot of you learned this in school. I don't know if everybody remembers it, but you know, the legislative are the ones that make the laws and pass the laws, vote on laws. That's Congress and Senate. Okay, you got executive, which is the president and the White House and his staff, and then you've got the judicial, which is the Supreme Court and the Department of Justice and all of the organizations that fall underneath them: FBI, CIA, NSA, all those. Fall underneath is exactly what the CIA does. But anyway, so you can't have one department working for another department against another department. It doesn't work that way. They're equal. You can't just say, no, we're not going to give you this evidence, Senate, you can kiss our ass. But it's what they're doing. And it really makes you wonder, what are they hiding? Like, if there was no discrepancies between the audio recording and the transcript that they gave over, why would they not just hand it over? Like, what's the big secret there? And nobody's asking that, and except for these few senators here, nobody's asking, and that's a question that needs answered, right? If we're going to continue to allow these guys to break the law and do as they want, then we're not going to have a country. Not a democracy or a republic like we have grown up in, not a country that is the beacon of freedom like they say we are. That's a police state. That's an authoritarian government. We're already an oligarchy. I know everybody thinks we're, a republic, or most people think we're a democracy. We're actually supposed to be a republic, but we're actually an oligarchy now and a police state. Oligarchy, we're run by these business CEOs. Like, who do you think that these government officials work for? They don't work for me or you. I don't see them down here helping out anywhere in my neighborhood. I don't see them in any towns around here. They'll come through when it's time to get reelected, or they want to, have a media coverage of them kissing babies in a parade or something. Whatever build up their reputation or their constituents. But what are they actually doing? How many of you are better off today than you were last year? How many of you are better off now than you were 10 years ago? Right? You get these little peaks and valleys of it, but generally it's going downhill. And it has for a long time. That's why the majority of the millennial generation, I'm Gen X. I was just missed being a millennial by a year, but a lot of us were still able to get to a point where we could afford to buy our own homes, and we weren't having to work two jobs just to pay our electric bill and get food. So we were in that situation before. A lot of us are not in it now. But these millennials and the Gen Z kids, I feel horrible for these guys. We bash them a lot, and I think that's like an American pastime to bash the younger generation and blame them for shit. But everything you see wrong with Gen X or Gen Z and these newer kids, they were raised by you. Don't forget that. Like, everything wrong with them is a result of the generations before. So just think about that before you start bashing these kids. And most of them are never going to be able to afford to buy their own home. They're never going to be able to afford to live on their own, you know, or have anything nice in their life. They're going to be in shitty little apartments paying rent to some corporate conglomerate and just barely getting by. You know, and y'all say, oh, they don't want to work. They don't want to work. Well, I don't want to work. I don't want to go out here and damn kill myself and work myself to death so somebody else gets rich, you know. And then you got all these other guys, oh, just start your own business. Man, it ain't that simple. It ain't that simple. Y'all try to make it sound like it's that simple, and if you just work hard and you just put the effort in, it ain't that simple, you know. There's no fallback for a lot of us. A lot of you saying it's that simple. You got families you can fall back on. You got families that had money you can get to help you. You know, you're in positions where you can get proper loans and everything to make it work. I don't have that. Most of the people I know don't have that. The only thing we have, we worked our asses off for, and it ain't much. So we got to stop letting this shit happen. We got to stop saying, okay, well, it's a witch hunt, Republicans and Democrats. They're on the same team, okay? Every once in a while, you'll get some like these guys who are like, hey, wait, this is just too much. This is too much bullshit, and we're going to have to figure it out. And I don't care that that it's the Republicans doing it against the Democrats or the Democrats doing it against the Republicans. It doesn't matter. And I don't care if it's politically motivated, right? It's the correct thing to do. If it's the correct thing to do, their agenda on why they're doing it, I don't give a shit about. As long as they do it the correct way and obey the laws and don't have a second set of laws that only apply to them. Okay? So you got to get that shit out of your head that it's Republican versus Democrat, because it's never been Republicans versus Democrat. It's always been the haves and the have-nots. And if you're like me, you're on team have-not. I would say the vast majority of you guys are on team have-not. I don't care if you're a millionaire, you're still on team have-not, because you don't compare to these guys. You don't have the power or the money that these politicians and that these corporate CEOs and these big business guys have. You just don't have that, and you're never going to get it. You can work as hard as you want, you can invest as smartly and make the best decisions. You're never going to have it. All right? You effectively have to sell your soul to get where they're at. And I know the majority of people in the United States are good people at heart. We do a lot of really, really stupid things, and we do a lot of things that I think we regret, and we all do things that lower the standard of who we are, right? But the worse our country is, the more that's going to happen. It's rotted from the center out. The government is supposed to represent the people, and for the most part right now it is, in the form of the greed, in the form of, you know, the division and the hatred and the vitriol, you know, the accusations and shit. That's how all you guys are acting out here on the street. I see y'all through y'all's bullshit. Y'all all the time in some drama, all the time into something. Arguing with your neighbors, you know, whatever. Like fighting boyfriends, girlfriends out here cheating and shit. Like, you want these guys to be perfect, but you don't want to step up and do it yourself. Right? They can't be perfect. You can't be perfect. But we got to start somewhere. You know, better yourself a little bit every day if you can. You know, you don't have to be perfect. Nobody has to be perfect. We're never going to be. But we have to demand that these guys obey the law. So how do we do it, right? A lot of you don't do anything because you don't know. You don't know how. You know, there's no system set up for us to do that. They've gotten rid of almost a lot. Well, they've gotten rid of a lot of our rights, but they've also gotten rid of pathways for us to get them back. So that's something we have to start looking into, is getting those pathways back. But for right now, money is what they care about. So money is how you have to fight them. We don't have the money to go and do it in courtrooms. We don't have the money to stand up to these powers It's just not going to happen. So Elon Musk probably don't have the money to stand up to most of these guys. So we have to affect change in small amounts, which takes a lot of people. If we can organize and get a lot of people together, then stop complaining about everything. Like, none of your special interests matter. Okay, you got to stop with the special interest. Okay, you got to stop with the minority shit and the LGBTQ shit and the abortion or anti-abortion and the pro-life, whatever. You got to stop with all of that, because at the moment that these guys are so corrupt and so separated from us, none of that matters, and they're only going to change that stuff to win votes because they don't care. All right. A few of them start going to jail. A few of them start getting their power ripped away from them. They'll start caring more, and then we can affect changes that we really want to affect, that are for the good of everybody and not just an argument piece, not just a political divide that they've created to keep you guys from getting together and stopping their nonsense. So, something to think about. I'd like for you guys to go. I'll put a link to that video, to the full video, if you want to go watch it. But there's a lot of them. I encourage y'all to watch some of the clips or the videos from the Senate Judiciary hearings, where they're talking to Mayorkas. He's the Homeland Security guy over Border Patrol, and he's just flat lies to them over and over and over. They call him out on his lies, and he just continues to do it. He does not care. And it's not a racism thing. It's not any of this other nonsense. It's not Trump people coming after Biden people. It's none of that. All right? It's literally, he is breaking the law. Joe Biden is breaking the law, and no one's doing anything about it. You know, the Attorney General breaking the law. Man, come on. Come on. You're the top of the Department of Justice. You're openly breaking laws in front of the American people, in front of Senate and Congress, and not a damn thing happens. So it's up to us to make sure that it happens. I don't know why this light goes off, guys. I'm sorry. But you gonna turn back on? There it goes. We have to stand together. We have to figure it out. You have to work in small groups. I'm not going to make this YouTube video or this TikTok video or wherever I'll upload this thing. I'm not going to make this video and affect a large amount of people. Most people's not even going to see this video, right? But a few of you might. And a few of you see it. Affect those changes in the little circles that you have, right? And then teach people to put those changes into effect in the areas, in their little circles, in other areas, and it spreads, man, and it'll spread out. Then you'll have more people doing videos like this. You'll have more people talking about it, more people stopping arguing about Republicans and Democrats and left and right and all that other nonsense and racism and sexuality, and it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And if you're out there spewing it, you know that it's bullshit, yet you continue to do it because you want to win. And you don't understand that if you win this little battle, you're going to lose the war, because the war ain't with the, Billy Bob down the street or Jamal around the corner. That's not who the war's with. The war's with these guys. The war's with the politicians. The war's with the big corporations who are poisoning us and trying to kill us on a daily basis. The drug companies who keep us sick. This is who we're against. That's who the war is. And you're not going to win that war fighting battles amongst each other. So all I can say is get your head out of your asses, because all of you got your heads way up there. Get your heads out of your asses. Start figuring this shit out, man. Start learning. Educate yourself. Don't listen to talking heads on television if what they're saying, it looks like bullshit or sounds like bullshit. Pay attention to what they're saying. Research it. Don't just go on Facebook and read something your grandma posted. Research that shit and find out if they're being honest or not. Right? Just look at that awful debate that we. Can anybody that watched that debate really tell me that they want either one of them guys to be president? Presidents have been shit for a while, but at a time in our past, way before my time, there used to be great men that served, and they had flaws. Everybody has flaws, and you can point out their flaws all you want, but it doesn't change the effects they had on the world, the great things that they did. And now we got two presidents on a nationally televised debate arguing about their golf game and challenging each other like children. You know, my handicap's better than yours. I can outdrive you. I've seen your swing. Like, this is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And the fact that you guys are still out here, go Trump, go Biden, you are morons. Okay? I can't put that any other way. If you watch them and listen to them and then turn around and still support them and still say, yeah, these are the guys, this is the people we need running this country, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck are you thinking? Re-electing all of these assholes will not fix anything. They've been there and they didn't do shit while they were there. None of them. The only big changes that have happened in our country recently, and yeah, I know y'all are going to talk about Roe versus Wade and all this other different shit, but the main things that have affected this country are corporations are now people with the same rights as you and I, and they can go up there and donate as much money as they want to these politicians, and that's who gives them the most money, and that's who they work for. They've made it legal now, effectively, for them to accept bribes from corporations. And they do, all of them, on a daily basis. And that was a bipartisan deal. Like, Republicans and Democrats, that was a bipartisan thing. They both agreed, yeah, more money for us. Okay? Can't agree on a border plan, they can't agree on immigration change, can't agree on abortion, can't agree on, social welfare, they can't agree on anything that helps the people. Right? They fought on everything that helps the people. But when it helps them, it's bipartisan and it's done. Right? So that's why the House is full of lobbyists up there throwing money around, winning these guys over. And in turn, taking a big shit on you. So stop re-electing these morons. Stop re-electing these corporate, corrupt pieces of shit. You have to stop doing it. If you say, oh, I don't even vote, I don't care, then you are part of the problem. Okay? You are part of the problem. You're just saying everything they're doing is fine. Or my vote don't count, everything they're doing is fine. Your vote does count. But stop voting for the same two parties. Because if you vote for either one of them parties, then really your vote doesn't count. You're throwing that shit away. And they tell you, oh, if you vote for an independent candidate, you're throwing your vote away. It's a waste of a vote. You're going to let the other party win. It'll be the Democrats who win if you're talking to a Republican. It'll be the Republicans who win if you're talking to a Democrat. The facts of the matter are, you throw your vote away if you don't vote, and you throw a vote away re-electing people that aren't doing their jobs. So, let's try to get this shit together, man. So, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just some poor dude in Tennessee. Like, I don't have any control, any power, any money to fight this shit. Get in the comments, man. Spread this around. Spread the video. Share it. Let's find somebody that does. Let's find some people. There's people out there that know how to organize this shit and will do it for the right reasons. There's people out there who are more educated than I am, who are more politically aware than I am, who know how these things work better than I do, who have the connections that we need. I don't have any of that. I just have this knowledge that I don't even know if you call it knowledge or wisdom or whatever. It's not. I'm not. I'm no Elon Musk. I'll just say, but I can see through their bullshit, and that makes me a little different sometimes. But all I can do is try to teach y'all how to see through their bullshit. All I can do is tell you how you're being manipulated. All I can do is point out when they're breaking the law and when they're doing things that violate our rights. And I'm going to continue to point them out. Eventually, if this ever catches on, anybody ever watches these, they'll come for me. There'll be something. They have a playbook of shutting people up. And it can be something like, oh, he's a sex offender. And anybody that knows me, there's few people I hate more in this world than sex offenders. They're just below politicians, right? Sex offenders, politicians, people that drive slow in the fast lane, and so on. But Excuse me. But we got to figure it out. And I need y'all to help me figure it out before they come for me, because they've come for everyone else. If you stand up against them, they're going to come for you. The only thing that protects people is other people standing up for them, right? Like if I'm all by myself on this and I'm posting these videos, and even if it's getting some good views and likes, if I don't have people to support me, if I don't have people joining up with me and people that will go, hey, wait a minute, no, that's bullshit, you're lying about him, or any, or he didn't commit that crime, why are you taking him to jail? If I don't have people that are here to support me, then that bullshit that they spew is going to get out, and that's going to be believed by everyone, right? So let's do what we can. This nice, y'all know my messy bed over there. Look here. Get the flag in there like we're supposed to have it. But I really don't know what else to say on it, guys. I need y'all to help. It's very depressing to be able to see how all this works, and to see how bad the corruption and shit is, and to have literally everyone just ignore it. I know all of our lives are hard enough, but we're never going to fix them ignoring the biggest problem. So if you guys think anything, let me know. Until next time.